Dot School presents Simplifying Exponents 2. Let's start by reviewing the laws of exponents. When two exponents are on the same base and are multiplied together, we add the exponents. When two exponents on the same base are divided, we subtract the exponents. When an exponent is raised to another exponent, we multiply the two exponents together on the same base. The product of two exponents is the exponent of the product. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1 provided that number is not 0. A negative exponent is the same as the reciprocal of the exponent with opposite sign. And finally, the nth root of an exponent is expressed as a fraction in which the numerator is the exponent under the root and the denominator is the nth root. Time for some practice. Let's say we have 7 raised to the n plus 2 minus 7 raised to the n plus 1 times 3 all over 20 times 7 raised to the n minus 7 raised to the n plus 1 times 2. And we want to simplify all of this. Our first job is to split these up. So we are going to rewrite that as 7 raised to the n times 7 square, or 7 raised to the 2, minus 7 raised to the n times 7 raised to the 1 times 3 all over 20 times 7 raised to the n minus 7 raised to the n times 7 raised to the 1, that's 7 raised to the n plus 1 times 2. Now if you look at the numerator, there are two terms in the numerator and there's a common factor which is 7 raised to the n. So we are going to take that common factor out. So this is going to be 7 raised to the n, open parentheses, close parentheses. Of course this is just the numerator. 7 squared, 7 raised to the second is 7 times 7. So we are going to go ahead and write a 49 there, minus 7 raised to the 1 is 7 and 7 times 3 is 21. Now if you look at the denominator, there are two terms. And this one, 7 raised to the n, is a common factor again between the two terms in the denominator. So let's take that out. 7 raised to the n, 20 minus 7 raised to the 1, which is 7, times 2, which is 14, which is equal to, cross off the 7 raised to the n and the 7 raised to the n, that's 1. 49 minus 21 is 28, and 20 minus 14 is 6. And that can be simplified too. If you divide 28 with 2, you get a 14. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 14 thirds. It's an improper fraction, therefore we can change it to a mixed number. This is going to be 4 and 2 thirds. So all of this simplifies to 4 and 2 thirds. Let's try another one. Let's have 125 raised to the 2n over 3. So that's a fractional exponent, multiplied with 27 raised to the negative n over 6, that's a negative fractional exponent, divided with 75 raised to the negative n over 2, another negative fractional exponent. Let's try and simplify this. To begin with, if you look at 125, 125 is 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, 25 times 5 is 125. Therefore, we can rewrite 125 as 5 raised to the third power because there are 3 5s in this multiplication sentence. In the same way, we can rewrite 27 as 3 times 3 times 3, which is 3 raised to the third power. And then if we look at the 75 on the denominator, 75 is 3 times 25 and 25 is again 5 times 5. So this is pretty much the same as 3 times 5 squared. The whole idea is to factorize them and rewrite these in exponent form so that we can apply the law of exponent that allows us to raise an exponent to another exponent. So we are going to replace these. 125 is 5 raised to the third power. That raised to the 2n over 3 times 27 is 3 raised to the third power raised to the negative n over 6 divided with 75 is 3 times 5 raised to the second power raised to the negative n over 2, which is equal to 5 raised to the third raised to the 2n over 3 means we need to multiply the exponents. 5 raised to the 3 times 2n over 3. You can rewrite this 3 as a 3 over 1. So it's just about multiplying the two fractions on the exponent times 3 raised to the 3 times negative n over 6. Again, you can rewrite this as a 3 over 1 times negative n over 6. All of that divided by 3 raised to the negative n over 2 times 5 raised to the second or 2 over 1 times negative n over 2. Let's go ahead and simplify the exponents. So you could cross off the 3 with the 3, it's gone. Here's a 3 and here's a 6, so you could cross off the 3 with the 6 and write a 2 here. Here's a 2 and a 2, and this is going to be equal to 5 raised to the 2n over 1, which is 2n, 3 raised to the negative n over 2 times 1. This part is a 1, so that's negative n over 2 divided with 3 raised to the negative n over 2 times 5 raised to the negative n. This part is a 1, which is equal to, feel free to cross off the 3 raised to the negative n over 2 from the numerator and the denominator, so that we have a 5 raised to the 2n over 5 raised to the negative n. When two exponents on the same base are divided, we subtract the exponents. Therefore, this is going to be 5 raised to the 2n minus this exponent, which itself is a negative n. Eventually, this minus combines with this negative sign to give you a positive n. Therefore, this is equal to 5 raised to the 2n plus n, which is 5 raised to the 3n. That's what all of this simplifies to.